Hello friends, Gary Goes and fellow poets, welcome back to the channel. Today, Happy New Year by the way, January, at the time of recording, January 1st, you'll be seeing this on January 2nd. So, Happy New Year. We are back with another react video. I really like doing these videos because it combines my two worlds of acting, particularly when I was in National Youth Theatre, but also just in general, and of course, poetry. So I'm going to do another National Theatre. There are two videos that they've done. A National Theatre. This one's called. This is slightly different. I think it's called A Poet for Every Day of the Year, whereas the last video that we reacted to was Poetry for Every Day of the Year. So yes, I have to apologise for the weird sort of camera thing. For some reason, the camera, when I plug it into this OBS, the camera is a square, 1 by 1, instead of, 1940 by whatever it is, 1080, I think, off the top of my head. So it looks a little bit stretched. I don't know how to resolve that, but we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll figure it out for another video. Alas, let's get into the reaction. So, as you can see, this one has Damian Lewis, Simon Russell Beale. Let me position myself. I'm so out of sync today. But let me just quickly read the description. Join us on a journey through a calendar year in poetry, read by actors on stage at the National Theatre. Allie, Esiri and Damien Lewis were joined by friends including Simon Russell Beale, Fay Ripley, Danny Sapani, and Lesley Sharp. Chris Riddell live drew in the evening. So I heard from the last video, I wasn't aware Chris Riddell is actually a really, really big illustrator. A Poet for Every Day of the Year is dedicated to Helen McCrory, who took part in some of these poetry evenings in previous years. A signed copy of A Poet for Every Day of the Year are available from the National Theatre Bookshop. Every purchase supports the work of the National Theatre. So the last one was in support of Ukraine. This one is just in support of the National Theatre, which is a great theatre. It's pretty awesome. Okay, cool. Let's get into the video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to leave a comment. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you do, and turn on the bell notifications button as well. We post videos every Tuesday, and we also go live every Thursday and Sundays. So plenty going on the channel this year. I have set the target of hitting 10,000 subscribers by December 2024, so please be a part of that. No more rambling, let me put my headphones on and let's react to A Poet for Every Day of the Year at the National Theatre. Before we get started, just a reminder that I'm not going to be reacting to the whole video. That wouldn't be fair to the National Theatre. So if you want to watch the whole video, then go ahead and click the link in the description and watch it undisturbed without my commentary. So let's see what is in store for us. It just brings Simon Russell Beale. It just brings back so many good memories of being like a stage actor and stuff. I do. A part of it, me, really does. Also, sorry, I'm already stopping already. Also, don't forget that this is a book series, as I thought it was in the first video, and then we saw all the books on the table. So I'm sure this is part of that book series. It's even in the description that you can get it from their bookshop. So go ahead and do that.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for coming from wherever you've come from. It's an exciting evening of poetry ahead of us. In 1709, you weren't expecting that, were you?
I don't know if he's just doing a dramatic pause there, or if he's forgotten his lines, but yeah. I think he lost himself for a second there.
Towards the end of the Restoration period, a very famous critic of the day and wannabe playwright John Dennis was very excited to be unleashing his brand new play on the British theatre-going public. He was particularly excited because he had a brand new sound effect. His brand new sound effect was the sound of thunder. An ingenious contraption which he had concocted of 3 wooden chutes running down the 3 sides of the stage, backstage, a bit like a big marble run.
This is another thing I love about theatre is just, I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously you got it in film as well with like CGI and all of that stuff, but just the creativity of creative things. But there is a certain magic to the theatre.
With a cannonball at the top, which would roll down. You get the idea.
I think I've heard this story before, or at least I've heard about that. That's how they created thunder.
Unfortunately for poor old John, he wrote a turkey. And the management at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane took his play off before anyone really had a chance to see it.
Oh no.
John found himself back in the Theatre Royal Drury Lane a few months later, watching a new production of the Scottish play.
Macbeth, if you didn't know. It's bad luck in the theatre world to say Macbeth, particularly on stage. I think it's widely known as the Scottish.
Everybody look up, we're all right. Of the Scottish play. When Blow Me Down, if he doesn't hear across the blasted moor of the first act the self-same sound effect that he wanted to unleash on the British public only months before. He stands up in the stalls, out of his chair, indignant, and exclaims to the entire theatre, "That is my thunder! By God! They would play my thunder, but not my play!" You've guessed it. That was the first night, ladies and gentlemen, that the phrase "to steal one's thunder" entered into the British language.
Nice. I didn't pick up on that. He said you guessed it. I didn't even pick up on that. That's cool. Steal my thunder. See, this is what I love about theatre and stuff. A lot of terms derived from things like this.
Now, one person whose thunder would absolutely not be stolen on any stage here at the National Theatre was Helen McCrory's. You could try, but it wouldn't work. And it won't have escaped your attention, partly because it's on the website, and it might even be the reason some of you are here, that this evening is dedicated to Helen. And it's perfect, because Helen loved the National Theatre more than anywhere, and she loved poetry. And she supported Allie over the years with Allie's anthologies, and we did poetry readings together, and of course she would be here tonight. I want to say thank you to the National, because actually, really, you sort of inspired us to dedicate this evening to Helen. So thank you, Rufus. Thank you, the National team. Thank you to Allie for your anthology, which we're about to read from. It's brilliant. And then we have...
Also, big up to the National Theatre for putting on such a large-scale poetry event in general. It'd be nice to see such large establishment doing such thing. Every theatre should have a poetry night once a month.
Have this beautiful cast of actors here who are going to read the poetry, and well, what is there to say? I'm sorry if you were expecting other actors up here, but we are the best available in our price range. I'm not going to introduce them. You know who they are. Please enjoy the evening.
Helen completely understood my crazy heart ambition to light an explosion of interest in poetry and help bring it to a wider audience. And she was with me from the start with readings that were, of course, always electrifying. So it's an honor to dedicate the book and the evening to her. A Poet for Every Day of the Year has poems by 366 writers from across the world and...
Wait, what? Poet for every day of the year which is 365, but there's 366 poets in the book. Did I hear that?
Across time.
I'm sure it'll get explained. Or I'm sure there's a reason.
That cover extraordinary events and ordinary happenings. We're not going to read you all of the 366 poems tonight, but we hope you enjoy the poems we have chosen and that you come away with your spirits a little higher than before. We will begin with a poem that is usually read on Burns Night. Like millions of teenage boys.
By the time of recording, Burns Night is coming up. Not far away. I did try and do a Burns Night on the channel once and do it in a Scottish accent, but it was very difficult. Or was that? No, I think that was an Instagram live stream back when I used to do Instagram.
Boys around the world, Robert Burns turned to poetry as a means of impressing a girl.
A tale as old as time.
Unlike most teenage boys, however, he went on to become the national poet of Scotland. Born in 1759 to a humble tenant farming family, he writes here in his Lowland Scots dialect, which might be tricky to follow at times, but the
And that's where I struggled when I tried to do my own Burns Night live.
vital energy of the verse is abundantly clear.
Don't know how I got myself into this. My father-in-law, after a couple of gins, gave me a little tutorial last night. Addressed to a haggis. Fair for your honest, sonsy face, great chieftain of the puddin' race, a boon them I attack your place, pant, stripe or therm, weel are ye worthy of a grace as long's me arm.
He's got great stage presence, doesn't he? Like, you can see why he's such a successful actor.
The groaning trencher, there ye fill, ye hardies like a distant hill. Your pin would help to mend a mill in time of need, while through your pores the dews distill like amber bead. His knife see rustic labour dight, and cut ye up with ready sleight, trenching ye gushing entrails bright like any ditch. And then, oh, what a glorious sight, warm, reeking, rich. Then, horn for horn, they stretch and strive. They'll tack the hindmost on they drive, till a' their wheels swelled kites belive are bent like drums. Then old Goodman, mislike to reeve, bethink it hums. Is there that o'er his French ragout, or olio that would store a sow, or fricassee would make her spew with perfect sconner? Looks down with sneering, scorn through view on suck a dinner.
Again, I said this in the last video, but a big up to the illustrator. His work is at the back on the screen now. He illustrates, well, he does an illustration per poem, and I don't know how prepared he is. I said this in the last video. I don't know how prepared he is before the night. I don't know if this is all like made up on the spot or if he knows what he's doing. Either way, it's really impressive. Also, I really like Damian Lewis. He's got such a good energy. I have no idea what is being said in the poem, by the way, but it sounds.
Poor devil, see him o'er his trash, as feckless as a withered rash. His spindle shank a good whiplash, his knee a nicked. Through bloody flood or field to dash, oh, how unfit. But mark the rustic, haggis fed. The trembling earth resounds his tread, clapping his wally knee a blade. He'll make it whistle, and legs and arms and heads will sned like taps of thistle. Ye powers, wha mak mankind your care, and dish them out their bill of fare. Old Scotland wants nae skunking ware that jops in luggies. But if ye wish her grateful prayer, gie her a haggis.
I get the last line. Give her a haggis. but for the most part, I had no idea what was being said. I just really enjoyed that performance. That's how I love. I'm biased, right? I said it in the last video. That's how I love to watch poetry be performed. But that's just because that's my background and stuff. Great performance. Ah.
So you've got to love Robert Burns for writing an ode to a sausage. Here.
Well, I had no idea that was an ode to sausage. As she introduced it, it's in Scottish dialect. So, not being from Scotland, it's hard to follow. But you gotta love Robert Burns. My love for you is like a red, red rose, newly sprung in. Not even going to try to attempt a Scottish accent.
Here, with something rather less prosaic, is one of the great poets of the post-war era, Philip Larkin.
Okay.
Notoriously grouchy, Larkin observed of his own work that deprivation was for him what daffodils were for Wordsworth. But here, he's unusually cheery, and in this poem, although the cold is drawing on and the new lambs are struggling in the snow, we know that something wonderful is around the corner.
I don't do accents.
Nor do I.
Lambs that learn to walk in snow, when their bleating clouds the air, meet a vast unwelcome, know nothing but a sunless glare. Newly stumbling to and fro, all they find outside the fold is a wretched width of cold. As they wait beside the ewe, her fleeces wetly caked, there lies, hidden round them, waiting too, earth's immeasurable surprise. They could not grasp it if they knew what so soon will wake and grow, utterly unlike the snow.
That was good.
Love can catch you in the strangest of places and at the most inconvenient moments, as these next three poems remind us.
When I am sad and weary, when I think all hope has gone, when I walk along High Holborn, I think of you, with nothing on.
I thought I recognized that poem, but then I realized I didn't. And then I certainly didn't, but nice short one there.
Something fluttered about my heart, like a bird caught in a snare. I blame the girl on the 14 bus. It was she who put it there.
Song by Wendy Cope. My love got in the car and sat on my banana, my unobserved banana and my organic crisps. We spoke of life and love, his rump on my banana, my hidden soft banana and my forgotten crisps. He kissed me more than once as he sat on that banana, that newly squashed banana, and those endangered crisps. We looked up at the stars, beneath him my banana, my saved from lunch banana, and my delicious crisps. At last I dropped him off and noticed the banana, alas, a ruined banana, and sadly damaged crisps. You'd think he would have felt a fairly large banana, and if not the banana, the lumpy bag of crisps. But he's the
It's a good example of like comedic repetition. Also, I think it's really great that they have such a mix of styles and tones and themes. Nice. It's a good keeps it light, keeps it fresh, keeps it moving.
Kind of man who'll sit on a banana for hours. Watch your banana and guard your bag of crisps. He waved goodbye and smiled, benign as a banana. I love you, daft banana, said I, and ate the crisps.
I don't know if the actors are asked to pick their favourite poems. Maybe they're given a copy of the book and they're asked to pick out which poems they wish to perform. Or I would imagine what's more likely is that they're told, or I don't know, more like, I don't know. Maybe a bit of both.
So, as we see, love doesn't always go as planned or as desired, and sometimes it doesn't go at all. Unrequited passion has been the inspiration for many a lovelorn soul through the centuries, often to excruciating effect for the listener. The waste paper bins of history are filled with the ineffectual musings of thwarted hearts. But here is one of the romantic masters, Percy B. Shelley, at his very best.
Nice.
Love's philosophy. The fountains mingle with the river, and the rivers with the ocean. The winds of heaven mix forever with a sweet emotion. Nothing in the world is single. All things by a law divine, in one spirit meet and mingle. Why not I with thine? See the mountains kiss high heaven, and the waves clasp one another. No sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother. And the sunlight clasps the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. What is all this sweet work worth, if thou kiss not me?
Nice. And again, I just said it, but I really like the way they've organized which poem gets performed when. It's a good little mix of sort of old traditional and love and a bit of comedy, a bit of short, long form. Sorry, I keep getting text. My phone's right here and it keeps distracting me.
As declarations of love go, few can match the sweeping romanticism of that poem. But history doesn't tell what happened, but one can't help wondering whether his intended might not have been a bit overwhelmed by such extravagant sentiment. But love poetry doesn't always have to be so bombastic. It can be simple, almost austere. And here is the master of brevity and understatement himself, Harold Pinter.
It is here. What sound was that?
I thought he was good acting, right? I thought he was looking to the host, like, can I begin?
I turn away into the shaking room. What was that sound that came in on the dark? What is this maze of light it leaves us in? What is this stance we take to turn away and then turn back? What did we hear? It was the breath we took when we first met. Listen. It is here.
Nice. He's really good, isn't he? He's really good.
Sometimes love can seem impossible, especially when unconventional. Amy Levy is one of many women poets in the book who've been unfairly all but forgotten. Levy was a feminist trailblazer, a friend of fellow forward thinkers like Eleanor Marx, revered by Oscar Wilde amongst others, and a lesbian when this was, of course, still very much a taboo. This poem of hers gives a snapshot of a blossoming secret love.
A at a dinner party. With fruit and flowers the board is decked, the wine and laughter flow. I'll not complain, could one expect so dull a world to know.
You look across the fruit and flowers. My glance, your glances find. It is our secret, only ours, since all the world is blind.
Yeah. I like the thing. I think that was a nice touch that they had two actresses performing it to each other. That was nice touch. I'm not aware of the poem, so I don't know if it was written that way to be a conversation between two people, but I thought that was a nice touch. Have we heard from Simon Russell Beale yet? I'm kind of looking at the time. I'm not going to react to the whole video because that's not fair. I'll leave the link in the description down below so you can go and watch the whole thing. There's still another 45 minutes of this video. We're only 16 minutes in. So, yeah, I want to at least get each performer in this video. So I'm waiting for Simon Russell Beale to stand up. So we'll see what happens.
But not all love is romantic. Sometimes love is just love, and sometimes quite frantic and urgent. Many poets have had tragic or poignantly inspirational life stories, but few, I think, endured as much heartbreak and adversity as Livestream Se did before becoming a national poetry icon. The son of an Ethiopian immigrant, he was separated from his mother as a child after he was mistakenly given up for adoption, when the former had only intended for him to be put in temporary foster care while she completed her studies. He was then sent to a Christian family who anglicized his name, ensuring he was lost in the system, before they too returned him to care. But through all this pain, he found a trusty companion in poetry.
Invisible kisses. If there was ever one whom, when you were sleeping, would wipe your tears when in dreams you were weeping, who would offer you time when others demand, whose love lay more infinite than grains of sand, if there was ever one to whom you could cry, who would gather each tear and blow it dry, who would offer help on the mountains of time, who would stop to let each sunset soothe the jaded mind. If there was ever one to whom, when you run, will push back the clouds so you are bathed in sun, who would open arms if you would fall, who would show you everything if you lost it all. If there was ever one who, when you achieve, was there before the dream and even then believed, who would clear the air when it's full of loss, who would count love before the cost. If there was ever one who, when you are cold, will summon warm air for your hands to hold, who would make peace in pouring rain, make laughter fall in falling rain. If there was ever one who can offer you this and more, who in keyless rooms can open doors, who in open doors can see open fields, and in open fields see harvests yield, then see only my face in reflection of these tides through the clear water beyond the riverside. All I can send is love. In all that this is, a poem and a necklace of invisible kisses.
That was really nice. I thought that was going somewhere else. I thought that might have been going in the direction of it being him thinking of his mother. But I liked it either way. Still waiting on Simon Russell Beale to stand up, though.
Now we come to spring and our greatest of poets, William Shakespeare.
My boy Shakespeare, just behind me and on my desk. Okay, this has to be Simon Russell Beale. He's a big Shakespearean actor, so I'm sure he is he? I might have just put my foot in my mouth there, but I'm sure he is.
Spring is a constant theme in Shakespeare's works. He's particularly fond of the month of April and mentions it more time than any other, perhaps because his birthday was on the 23rd. Here is Sonnet 98, with some of his most memorable April-inspired reflections.
From you have I been absent in the spring, when proud-pied April, dressed in all his trim, hath put a spirit of youth in everything, that heavy Saturn laughed and leaped with him. Yet nor the lays of birds, nor the sweet smell of different flowers in odour and in hue could make me any summer's story tell, or from their proud lap pluck them where they grew. Nor did I wonder at the lily's white, nor praise the deep vermilion in the rose. They were but sweet, but figures of delight, drawn after you. You pattern of all those. Yet seemed it winter still, and you away, as with your shadow I with these did play.
Oh, Shakespeare's so good. He's so good. Okay, let's wrap it up there. So, guys, again, if you want to watch the full video without me keep pausing it and adding commentary, and again, there's a good 40 minutes left of this video. Be sure to go over there and support the National Theatre, support the bookshop, buy the book on the bookshop, and until next time, my friends, happy writing. Don't forget to hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good stuff, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.